At the celebration banquet for the company's new product launch, everyone is hoping that the big shot from Los Angeles will come, as long as he's willing to invest. The company can go public quickly. At this moment, my wife's assistant, Liam, is deliberately causing trouble for me. Mr. Lucas, is it really appropriate for you to wear a $10 shirt to an occasion like this? Also, do you even know how much this glass of wine is worth? He accidentally knocked over the wine in my hand. Then he demanded that I kneel down in public to clean up the wine stain on the floor so that the big shot won't be unhappy when he sees it. My wife showed an unhappy expression and urged, "You're really embarrassing. Hurry up and clean it up." Liam smiled smugly. "Why don't you just take off your shirt and wipe it up? After all, your shirt was bought from a street vendor. $10 each. Here is 100. Tomorrow you go buy 10 items. Consider it a reward for you." I looked at my wife. I asked, "You embarrass me in front of everyone with your little assistant. Are you really not going to regret it?" Sophia stood next to Liam holding a glass of red wine. She frowned and impatiently looked at me, saying, "He is also doing it for the good of the company. Today is such an important day. Don't you know you wore such a cheap shirt to the cocktail party? Even the company uniform looks more upscale than your shirt. People like you shouldn't claim to be a manager of Harrison Group. This is really embarrassing for me. Today's banquet is a celebration for the company's new product launch. We invited all our partners in the industry. I was about to get off work. Liam notified me. He said Sophia wanted me to prepare a contract first, to show him once it's ready, then go to the banquet. After I completed the contract, Liam kept nitpicking. He made me revise it 7 or 8 times. He only reluctantly agreed just before the banquet was about to start. I was pressed for time. There's no time to change clothes. I rushed directly from the office to the banquet venue. I had just picked up a glass of red wine. I turned around and bumped into Liam. He glanced at me with disdain. He mocked, "Mr. Lucas, you come dressed like this to such an important banquet. Isn't that a bit inappropriate? Doesn't that embarrass Sophia? Doesn't it bring shame to the company?" He glanced at the red wine I had just taken a sip of. He squinted and said, "You know how much this bottle of red wine costs. This is reserved for when the big shots from Los Angeles arrive. What gives you the right to drink it now? You think you deserve it?" I looked around while holding the wine. There were quite a few people drinking. He was clearly targeting me. I shrugged indifferently. He is Sophia's assistant, and I am the department manager. Logically speaking, my position is not lower than his, but due to Sophia's indulgence and favoritism, Liam is currently running amok in the company. Except for Sophia, he looks down on everyone, especially me. I stare at him. I take a sip of red wine and say, "I don't think I'm unworthy of this glass of red wine. Isn't this a celebration banquet?" As the manager of the R&D department, I led the team to develop the company's latest product. Do I not even have the right to drink a glass of wine? He laughs and says loudly, "Everyone, listen. Mr. Lucas says the company's new product was developed by him." Mr. Lucas, how can you have the nerve to say that? This morning's product launch conference, I was the one who took the stage to speak. My name is also on the product development. You say it was developed by you. Who would believe that? Thinking of this, I feel a tightness in my heart. This product, I spent a year researching, working day and night with my colleagues in the department to conduct tests. It took a lot of effort to finally succeed in the development. It can be during the product launch. Sophia found me and said, "Lucas, this time I hope you can consider the company's overall interests. The executives have decided. This time, the name on the R&D will be changed to Liam." She continued to say, "This launch event is very important. We are about to discuss collaboration with the Harrison Group in Los Angeles. Your image is not quite suitable, and you stutter when you're nervous. This will affect the company's image." Liam expressed that he is willing to make a compromise to go on stage for this launch speech. "You also know he has a great image. Anyway, the executives all know the R&D person is you. The bonus will also be given to you. Don't fight for this title." I firmly oppose it. I was so angry that my face turned red. I disagree. Why should the results of my hard work in R&D bear his name, and let him demonstrate it? Customers care about the product itself, not the appearance of the R&D personnel. Sophia's expression darkened. She said to Lucas, "Because you are my husband. I have already given you enough face. If it were someone else, I would give direct orders. If you are unwilling to accept, you can choose to leave the company." "Lucas, the company can still operate without you. This is my decision. All you need to do is execute it." I look at Sophia, who seems increasingly unfamiliar. It's hard to believe in my heart. She started her business in San Francisco. I gave up everything in Los Angeles for her. I came to San Francisco to work hard with her, continuously developing new products, working hard to open up the market. Back then, I held the product. I went from company to company, demonstrating the product's performance to them. Sophia always said with emotion, "Husband, thank you for working so hard for me." Back then, she never minded that I wasn't good-looking enough. She never looks down on me for not being good-looking enough. She also doesn't mind that I stumble over my words when I'm nervous. Over the years, I have developed quite a few new products for the company. This is what allowed Harrison Group to establish itself in San Francisco. It has led to today's achievements, and it has also provided the opportunity to discuss cooperation and investment with Harrison Group. But Sophia has completely forgotten all of this. She looks down on me from her high position. With a disdainful expression, she tells me the company's decision. The product development person has been replaced by Liam. No one knows the inside story except for our department's colleagues. So, when Liam publicly humiliated me, saying that the product development person is him and not me, everyone stood on his side. Is Mr. Lucas drunk? Wasn't it Liam who presented the new products this morning? Why does Lucas always steal other people's credit? Moreover, he usually comes to work dressed very casually. How can he even be compared to Sophia? Sophia looks appropriate standing next to Liam's assistant. I glare at Liam. I respond loudly. "You say this product was developed by you. Then can you tell me, where do the parameters inside come from? Do you know if there are any serious defects in the chip of this product?" Liam was momentarily at a loss for words. His expression turned very grim. The people nearby whispered softly, "What's going on here? Why can't Liam say a word? I heard there's some insider information behind this matter. It's Sophia who made Liam take the blame. It seems to be for him to get promoted to manager." "No way. I've heard for a long time that their relationship is unusual." The surrounding murmurs gradually grew louder. Liam's expression suddenly changed. He bent down. He leaned close to my ear and said, "Even if everyone believes you, so what? Sophia won't help you at all. She has long lost her good feelings for you. Just look at yourself. What part of you can be compared to Sophia? It would be better to withdraw early." After he finished speaking, with a forceful push, he knocked my wine glass to the ground. The wine glass shattered with a crash. The red wine is spilled all over the floor. Liam took a step back. He shouted loudly, "Lucas, you know how expensive this wine is. I'm just saying your outfit is inappropriate. You can't just smash wine glasses when you're angry. The guests from Los Angeles are arriving soon. You need to clean up the wine quickly." I smiled coldly. "You caused this yourself. Why should I clean it up? Stop pretending to be innocent. There are security cameras in the hall. You think no one saw it?" Liam didn't expect me to be so direct. His face immediately turned ugly. He was momentarily speechless, not knowing how to respond. Sophia suddenly appeared. She slapped me hard. She stood next to Liam. She scolded me loudly. "You can't even hold a glass of wine properly. It's really embarrassing." Liam is right. The guests from Los Angeles are arriving soon. You need to clean up quickly. I looked at her in surprise. "Speak." This was deliberately done by Liam. Sophia said with a frown, "Lucas, I don't want to hear your explanation anymore. You need to clean this place up immediately. Then go apologize to Liam." Liam pulled her. He said with a face full of grievances, "Sophia, just let it go. After all, he is your husband. I'm fine. Mr. Lucas has been targeting me for some time now. I've thought it through long ago. Once this collaboration is complete, I will resign." Sophia patted his hand. She looked at me and said, "Apologize right away, until Liam forgives you." I looked at their hands tightly clasped together. I asked, What if I don't apologize? Liam suddenly laughed. Not apologizing is fine too. You can lick the wine off the floor clean. This wine costs over 100,000 per bottle. I bought it through connections from a winery abroad. There are only a few bottles in total. It was prepared to make the guests happy. You don't have the right to drink it at all. Now, I'll give you a chance. Kneel down and lick the wine off the floor clean. Let's just drop this matter. Sophia nodded. Let's do as Liam said. You have such spirit. Just lick the wine off the floor clean. One bottle of wine costs over 100,000. This glass alone costs 10,000. Do you have any money on you? I looked at her helplessly. Since marrying Sophia, my salary card and all my money are with her. Every month she only transfers me a few hundred as pocket money. I originally didn't mind, because I have low demands for life. She deliberately made me take out 10,000 in front of everyone. I simply couldn't come up with that much money at the moment. She clearly knows I can't produce it, yet she still said that. It was obviously a chance for her to embarrass me. I saw a hint of pride flashing in her eyes. She raised her chin and spoke. I can't afford to pay. Then you can only do as Liam said. You're really not presentable. Hurry up and clean up. Liam has his arm around Sophia. With a proud smile on his face. Why don't you take off your shirt and wipe it? After all, your shirt was bought from a roadside stall. $10 each. Not even a brand label. Here, I'll give you $100. Go buy 10 pieces tomorrow. Consider it a reward for you. He said this, and took a red 100 yuan bill out of his pocket. He casually tossed it at my face. Don't thank me. This $100 is enough for you to buy shirts for a year. I looked down at the shirt I was wearing and thought to myself, $10 each. I secretly scoffed in my heart. The shirt I was wearing was custom made. It's more expensive than that bottle of wine he mentioned that costs over 100,000. I didn't say anything. I looked at them expressionlessly. Liam, you might have been scammed as far as I know. The winery that produces this wine no longer sells to the public. They were just acquired because someone likes their flavor. They bought the entire winery. Since last year, this foreign winery has already stopped selling. Are you sure what you bought isn't counterfeit? Liam said with a pale face. People like you, who can only afford wine that costs a few dozen yuan a bottle at the supermarket, don't understand this at all. Clean up the wine on the floor right now. You either pay for it, or I'll report you for damaging our property. I looked at the people around me pointing and whispering, and then glanced at Sophia, who was comforting Liam. She checked the time and looked at me again. You know how long we prepared for today's collaboration. Are you waiting for someone from the Harrison Group in Los Angeles to arrive, only satisfied when seeing this place in chaos? Now, clean this place up immediately. People from the Harrison Group. He. I don't think they will cooperate with Sophia, letting such a problematic person run the company. Collaborating with them is simply asking for trouble. I looked at Sophia. Ask him seriously. Sophia, you publicly humiliate your husband with your assistant. You really not regret it? Sophia raised her voice and said, the thing I regret most is marrying a useless man like you. Can't do anything right. If you had listened to my arrangements, I could have kept you by my side. Otherwise, I really need to think about whether our marriage can continue. I let out a cold laugh. No need to think anymore. Our marriage doesn't need to continue. Sophia stared at me. What do you mean by that? I looked at her helplessly. Sophia, since we got married, I have been wholeheartedly devoted to you. For your company, in these 4 years, I have developed so many products. I helped solidify your position in San Francisco. But today, you actually want me to give the credit for the R&D to Liam. I understand. Our marriage should end. What you and your assistant did behind my back, you know in your heart, but from today on, there will be no more relationship between us. I will contact a lawyer to arrange the divorce proceedings. Sophia sneered. You want a divorce from me? Don't joke. You're so poor. Are you really willing to give up my money? If you leave me, you will have nothing. I am making it clear to you. The company's shares and everything else. You won't get a single cent. I looked at her. As if I had never known her, he said lightly, it doesn't matter. After speaking, I turned to leave. Liam suddenly stepped forward to block me. Stop. Either lick the wine clean, or take off your clothes and wipe it clean. Otherwise, we will call the police." I looked at Liam's smug expression. Then I glanced at Sophia. She had a blank expression, letting him make a scene. I said helplessly, "I will give you the money tomorrow," but Liam disagreed. "Either pay now, or wipe it clean," he said with a smile. "If you don't do it yourself, I'll have someone help you." After saying that, he waved to the security guard in the corner. After the security guard came over, he pointed at me and ordered, "Help him take off his shirt. Keep an eye on him while he wipes the wine off the floor." The security guard rushed over quickly. 2 people held me tightly. Another person started to undress me. Very soon, my shirt was ripped off and thrown on the ground. He said, "Get to it and wipe." My eyes were red, staring intently at Sophia. "Sophia, don't regret it." Sophia raised her chin. Her tone was firm. "Every decision I make, I have no regrets." Liam kicked the back of my knee from behind. I fell to my knees with a thud. The security pressed my hand on the shirt and said, "Hurry up and clean it up." More and more people gathered around. Everyone was pointing and whispering. The chatter grew louder. "Sophia, the people from Harrison Group have arrived." Someone hurriedly ran up to report to Sophia. A few people in suits walked in from outside. Sophia and Liam greeted them with smiles. "Mr. Harrison, welcome to San Francisco to attend our Harrison Group's product launch celebration." I lifted my head. Seeing Mr. Harrison at the front, his gaze fell on my face. Suddenly, his expression changed. "Master Lucas, what are you doing here?" After he finished speaking, he quickly ran over. The security guard holding me hadn't reacted yet. Mr. Harrison pushed them aside and helped me to my feet. He asked with a worried expression, "What happened? Why aren't you wearing any clothes? You have injuries on your arm." "Master Lucas, what are you doing in San Francisco? Your father is almost frantic." Sophia and Liam walked over, looking confused. Sophia asked with a smile, "Mr. Harrison, you know him?" Mr. Harrison said angrily, "Of course I know him. He is the only son of our Harrison Group's chairman. A few years ago, he ran away from home and hasn't returned since. Chairman Harrison has been searching everywhere for him. What is going on? How could young Master Lucas be restrained? And he even took off his clothes. Someone quick, bring a set of clothes." The assistant immediately ran out. He took a spare set of clothes from the car outside for me to wear. Sophia looked puzzled. She said uncertainly, "Could it be a mistake? He is just an ordinary department manager in our company. How could he be the son of the chairman of your Harrison Group?" Liam said, "Yeah, Mr. Harrison, are you sure you have the right person? Don't listen to those liars. Some people just come in to mooch food and drink, and they act all pretentious." Mr. Harrison was so angry that his face turned red. "That's nonsense. How could I possibly mistake young Master Lucas? He is that kind of person. I think you look like that kind of person." Then he turned to me and asked, "Young Master Lucas, are you okay?" I rubbed my sore arm and replied, "Mr. Harrison, I'm fine. Sophia and Liam just wronged me. They said I knocked over a glass of wine. They insisted I kneel here and clean it up before letting me go." Mr. Harrison was furious. He turned around and slapped Liam, who had come over. "Who do you think you are? All for a glass of red wine. You dare to make our young master clean the floor." Liam covered his face with his hand. He looked at Sophia with a wronged expression. He said softly, "Sophia." Sophia's expression darkened. "Mr. Harrison, this is the territory of Harrison Group. Even if you want to teach someone a lesson, you should at least consider who the owner is." Liam's assistant simply stated a fact. "You can go ahead." I took a step forward. My tone was firm. "I represent Harrison Group to make it clear to you. Harrison Group will never collaborate with Harrison Group." Liam scoffed. "Can you decide that? You really look like young Master Lucas. But who can prove that you really are?" I kicked Liam in the stomach. He let out a cry. Holding his stomach, he bent over. In pain, he rolled on the ground. I said coldly, "Who do you think you are? Didn't you say I couldn't leave without compensating? Didn't you say you would call the police?" I continued, and I picked up an unopened bottle of red wine from the table nearby. I remember that this winery has already been acquired by our Harrison Group, and it has stopped external sales. "Mr. Harrison, immediately have someone investigate. find out who in the company violated the regulations and secretly sold this red wine. Mr. Harrison responded immediately, understood. I will look into it right away. Sophia finally sensed something was wrong. She walked over, looking at me with a puzzled expression. Honey, are you really the son of the chairman of Harrison Group, the future heir of the Harrison Group? I raised my hand to stop her. Don't call me husband. Half an hour ago, you said you wouldn't regret any decision made today. I said that too. There's no need for our marriage to continue. Sophia shook her head and said, No, I just said that in anger. Husband, it's not easy for us to be together for so many years. How can you just leave me like this? I don't want a divorce. Liam suddenly ran over, pointing at Mr. Harrison's group and saying, Sophia, they're fake. I just received the news. The Harrison Group's vehicle broke down on the way to San Francisco. They're all stuck there. How could they possibly show up at the banquet now? They are all people Lucas hired to impersonate the Harrison family. All of them are fakes. Sophia stared at me and said, Lucas, you brought people to stage this act. What exactly do you want to do? Are you trying to sabotage our cooperation with the Harrison Group? Your actions really disappoint me, Liam said with a smug smile. Lucas, you didn't see this coming, did you? No matter how well you plan, it can't compare to the truth. As long as it's fake, it will eventually be exposed. I looked at his arrogant demeanor. Mr. Harrison sneered coldly. Our car broke down on the way. Chairman Harrison specifically sent a helicopter to bring us here. Liam teased with a smile. A helicopter? Huh, are you watching a drama? Traffic jam is just a traffic jam. And you want a helicopter to pick you up? Suddenly, someone shouted, Come here. Bind these people up for me. Call the police. We hadn't reacted yet. A group of security rushed up. They bound me and Mr. Harrison and everyone. Liam slapped me across the face. Then he kicked me again. Then he continued to punch and kick me. Are you not the young master of the Harrison family? Why is no one here to help you? Aren't you quite capable? Why don't you call your dad to teach me a lesson? Why don't you let Chairman Harrison come to help you? Are you not his only son? Why isn't he coming? He keeps kicking me. My stomach hurts badly. I can still taste blood in my mouth at that moment. A serious voice came from behind. I heard someone was looking for me. Chairman Harrison has arrived. Chairman Harrison, what brings you here? Some people from Harrison Group exclaimed in surprise. It's Dad. I suddenly felt dizzy. I spat out a mouthful of blood. The bodyguard behind Dad rushed forward immediately. He punched Liam to the ground. Who dares to touch my son? Dad shouted loudly. Hit me hard. The bodyguard immediately rushed forward. They beat Liam and several security guards until they were bruised all over. I leaned against my dad. I said softly, Dad, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I shouldn't have ignored your words. I've come to understand. I'll go back to Los Angeles with you. Sophia was pale with fear from a series of events. She shouted with a trembling voice, Dad. Dad stopped her. Don't call me that. Sophia said with a crying tone, Dad, after Lucas and I got married, he never mentioned his family. I thought he was just a child from an ordinary family. I truly didn't mean to disrespect you. I watched her put on an act. I said with a cold smile, just because I come from an ordinary family, you think you can bully me at will. You think you can manipulate me, right? Sophia quickly explained, Lucas, this is actually a misunderstanding. We can sit down and have a good talk. Weren't we just about to discuss the collaboration with Harrison Group? And the product I developed, the authorship was changed to Liam by you. I will hold you legally accountable. I can hold a press conference to clarify that you are the developer of this project, not Liam. Now you are a part of Harrison Group. We, Harrison Group, collaborate with Harrison Group. The company's business will definitely improve. Harrison Group was founded by the two of us together. The company also has your share. I will have the lawyer prepare the contract immediately to transfer half of the shares to your name. I coldly refused her. No need. I've already stopped caring. Dad coldly glanced at the barely conscious Liam. He said, like Harrison Group. Harrison Group doesn't even look at it. After speaking, Dad ignored them afterwards. They took me directly to the hospital. I woke up in the hospital the next day. I saw Sophia sitting next to me. Her eyes were red from crying. She tightly held my hand and said, "Honey, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I really didn't expect Liam to be this kind of person. He actually bribed the security. Last night he had someone threaten you. He even hit you. I truly didn't know he did it on purpose." I pulled my hand away and said, "Don't you know? Didn't you say with him that I was useless in this company? Have you always wanted to kick me out?" Sophia shook her head and said, "No, that wasn't my heartfelt words. How could I possibly want to kick you out of the company? That is our hard-earned business together." I stared at the ceiling. I said to Sophia, "Sophia, are you sincerely apologizing, or is it because I'm the heir of the Harrison family that you're seeking peace? We both know the truth. If I weren't a member of the Harrison family, it would be hard to say whether I'm alive or dead now. Last night when Liam attacked me, she didn't say a word. She just stood there watching me suffer. I turned my head and said, 'I don't think we need to talk anymore. You can leave,' because I reported that the Harrison Group had stolen my research results and changed the researcher to Liam. Liam immediately shirked responsibility. Sophia told me to do this. She said Mr. Lucas has a bad image. He might stutter while giving a speech. And I have a good image. So she wanted me to take credit, to present as the researcher." Sophia was so angry her face turned red. She pointed at him and scolded. "That's nonsense. It was clearly you. You were sweet-talking me, begging me to give you Lucas's research results, and said if you had this achievement, next time when I help you get a promotion, you'd have a reason," Liam retorted. "It was you who said you wanted to divorce Mr. Lucas, and yet you actively flirted with me. You said you would promote me. Only being with you gives me face. Clearly, you are the one seeking vanity. Now you're pushing the responsibility onto me. Mr. Harrison's investigation into the winery has yielded results. It turns out Liam bribed an employee at the winery. He bought several cases of wine using company funds. He even inflated the prices. This made the company pay twice the amount. Continue the investigation. It was found that Liam abused his position. He used sweet talk to confuse Sophia. She signed many documents. When the company audited the accounts, they discovered he had embezzled several million in public funds. The houses and cars under his name were all purchased with this money. Seeing Liam being investigated, everyone stepped forward to report him. Some pointed out that he abused his power at work. He threatened and harassed female colleagues. He also bullied coworkers in the workplace. After Sophia saw this evidence, she rushed into Liam's office. She slammed the evidence in front of him. "Liam, you have disappointed me too much. I trusted you so much, but you embezzled funds. I give you tens of thousands every month, and you're still not satisfied. You still want more." Liam suddenly pushed her away, with a face full of disgust. "What is your tens of thousands worth? I spend every day working with you, and I have to accompany you on dates after work. I have given so much. What's wrong with asking for this little money? You really think you are very attractive. Why should I accompany you for free? You don't really think I like you, do you? If it weren't for you agreeing to divorce Lucas and marry me, I wouldn't be interested in spending this much time with you. At your age, you should have some awareness. I'm not after your money. Am I after your old age?" These words were like slaps to the face, hitting Sophia hard on the face. Her face turned pale. She stared at him blankly. "So you've been lying to me all along. All those heartfelt words were lies." Her gaze turned cold. She said, "Since that's the case, then don't blame me for being rude." After she finished speaking, she walked out of the office. "Immediately call the police." The police quickly took Liam away. He embezzled millions in public funds. Now he will have to spend at least a decade in prison. The Harrison Group faced a lot of criticism in the industry due to the impersonation of their product development personnel. They said, "I was originally a part of the Harrison Group, and also Sophia's husband. If Sophia can do such a thing, then my character is also questionable." The Harrison Group initially thought that collaborating with the Harrison Group was a done deal, but because of my issue, the collaboration was completely ruined. Other companies have also heard about this matter. Since the Harrison Group is unwilling to cooperate. Moreover, The Harrison Group has offended itself. Who would still dare to cooperate with it? The Harrison Group's new product cannot be launched due to insufficient funds. A large amount of capital was invested in the early stages. However, there was no new funding injected in the later stages. This led to a sudden break in the Harrison Group's cash flow. The entire Harrison Group fell into crisis. After I was discharged from the hospital, I returned to Los Angeles with my dad. All the divorce procedures were handed over to the lawyer. What I didn't expect was that Sophia not only refused to sign the divorce agreement, but also chased me to our home in Los Angeles. When she saw me, she immediately rushed over and hugged me tightly. "Hubby, I don't want a divorce. I really know I was wrong. I won't sign it. What can I do to earn your forgiveness?" I pushed her away. "Sophia, you understand we can never go back. Why are you still entangling me?" Sophia's eyes turned red, with a voice choked with tears. She said to me, "But, hubby, I'm pregnant with your child." I was taken aback. "Child? Sophia and I have been married for 4 years. She has always been unwilling to have children. At first, she said her career wasn't stable yet. Later, she said she was too busy with work. Even if we had a child, we wouldn't have time to educate them. It would be better to wait until the company goes public to consider having children. But now she tells me she's pregnant." But I watched her gently place her hand on her belly. I asked her how many months she was happy. I asked. Looking at me shyly, she said, "It's already 3 months. Yesterday morning I felt nauseous. I even threw up, then I fainted. It was only after going to the hospital for a checkup that I found out. Turns out I'm pregnant. Honey, are you happy?" She leaned against me, looking up at me. "Honey, didn't you always want a child? Now we have a child. I will definitely be a good mother and a good wife. After the child is born, let's love him well together, make him the happiest baby in the world. Okay?" Her face showed shyness. My gaze was filled with anticipation. She radiated a blissful maternal glow. She appeared particularly gentle. I asked her, "Is there an examination report?" She took out the blood test report and the ultrasound report from her bag. It showed that she was 12 weeks pregnant. It has indeed been 3 months. I gently pulled my arm away from her tight embrace. Looking at her, I softly said, "Sophia, have you forgotten we haven't been together for 6 months? Who is the father of this child? You should know best." How ironic. The child she tightly held onto is actually not mine. I have always longed for a child. If this child is truly mine, I might seriously consider giving her a chance. But the reality is, we haven't been together for half a year, yet she is 3 months pregnant. Life has played a huge joke on me. It's so ironic. Sophia's face suddenly turned pale. She seemed to just realize, we haven't had intimacy for a long time. The existence of this child undoubtedly confirms her infidelity during marriage. Her tears burst forth in an instant. She shook her head desperately. "No, no, this child must be yours. How could it be someone else's? You must be mistaken. Honey, really, I couldn't possibly be pregnant with someone else's child. This really is yours." I stood up, looking down at her, my eyes filled with disgust and disdain. "Sophia, stop lying to yourself. You're so eager for my forgiveness. It's not because you love me at all. It's because you're out of options now. You want to grab onto me as your lifeline. Unfortunately, I'm not the kind of person who easily softens, especially not for someone like you who betrayed me in marriage. Tomorrow, I'll have my lawyer contact you. Sign the divorce agreement. If you don't want to sign, that's fine. Then we'll see each other in court. I want the judge to see the situation of infidelity and understand why I want a divorce. If you don't want the Harrison Group's situation to worsen and don't want your reputation damaged, I hope you can sign without hesitation, so we can part on good terms." After Sophia returned, she quickly signed the divorce agreement. A month later, we officially completed the divorce procedures. Her belly was slightly rounded. She looked at me as if she had something to say, but I didn't give her a chance. I just turned around and left. I don't want to have any contact with her anymore. The funding chain of Harrison Group has collapsed. No one is willing to take over the later collaboration. Part of the reason is that I suppressed Harrison Group while I was there. I built Harrison Group from the ground up. I would rather see it destroyed in my hands then let it fall into someone else's hands. 6 months later, Harrison Group announced bankruptcy. I saw the president of Harrison Group, Sophia, on TV. She was heavily pregnant. Her complexion was pale. She couldn't wear makeup due to her pregnancy. She looked utterly exhausted. Later, I heard, she gave birth to a daughter, but she suffered severe bleeding during childbirth. She was saved only after emergency treatment. The doctor told her she would never be able to conceive again. After that, no one knew where she took the child. These matters no longer concern me. At the end of that year, on my 30th birthday, my father held a press conference at Harrison Group, officially announced that the Harrison Group is handed over to me. I have become the new generation heir of the Harrison Group. My future is full of hope.